Welcome back, and I still have with me Joseph Alozie, the General Manager of Climate Services at NIMET. In your report, you also talk about the potential for fire outbreaks because of the dryness of the weather. Can you expand on that?
We started in October last year to talk about the dryness expected in the 2016 weather season, early in the year, following from the harmattan that was very moderately affected us in different parts of the country moderately. And pulling out of that, by February, we entered the hot season, and you know, like I have said earlier, that the dryness associated with the hot season this year is profound. With the temperatures rising, the air is nearly calm, little or no winds. So the build-up of the heat within the environment is enormous. Therefore, the conditions for fire outbreak, frequent fire outbreak, have been met, talking about it scientifically. And then there are other social issues, or rather what I will call civil issues. Though it doesn't really bother on meteorology, but you and I know the challenge that the people are having with fuel issues. Well, once people begin to store fuel among where they live, they aggravate the potential for fire outbreak, such that it engulfs, spreads fast. The spread is the key word there, because the conditions have been met. And so the slightest ignition makes it to spread fast on the hotness of the environment, and this is aggravated by perhaps presence of fuel within the area.
Separate to the issue of fuel, what else do people need to do to avoid fire outbreak during this period?
They need to open up their systems. They need to open up their places and hope that it's not a stuffed-up situation. That can help at least reduce, but go further than being extra careful. If you don't need that switch, don't put it on. If you put on, there are so many practices we engage in that are not good for us. Some people, because they are chasing mosquitoes, they put on a mosquito coil even when they are sleeping. And some forget that they have put on a boiling ring, and maybe they took the light and they didn't remember to take it away. Perhaps when the light returns, it becomes something else. We should just be careful, be careful, that's the right word.
And now if we go to the extreme situation of heat waves actually taking lives, we've heard about that across the world. Do you have any records on the number of lives that have been taken in Nigeria in relation to heat waves?
No, speaking personally, I don't have such figures, but I know it is substantial. Such records can be gotten from the health authorities, but we have records of what caused the heat wave, the values of weather parameters. The one that is of concern to us in the weather community is these high temperatures of 40 degrees and above, coming on a consecutive day in this month of April particularly. Last year, in some far northern states, it occurred for almost the whole of April. A city in Borno State was reporting at 40 degrees and above for more than 25 consecutive days. That was too much. I just pitied the people there.
Another issue that you look at in your report is the issue of poor visibility, particularly in the northern states. Obviously, this affects pilots and others in the aviation sector. What do managers in the aviation sector need to be doing, and how long is this issue going to last for?
I think we have gone out of the poor visibility regime as of today, because we don't have much of harmattan right now. But during the harmattan, which was high from November last year to February this year, NIMET before the commencement of that particular season, did issue a statement warning that the pilots and even the traveling people should listen to the weather condition, because each airport has what we call weather minima in terms of visibility. What it says is that if the visibility is below a certain value, we need to shut down the airport, because even if there is good instrumentation for landing at that airport, we still have to be cautious, because instrument is instrument, let alone where we have challenge with instrumentation, and then the pilot needs to use his intuition, what he can see, and what the pilot who is coming into land can see is seen at an angle he may not be able to see very well. He can bump into the airport, or see the ground suddenly. But fortunately, as of now, we have really gone out of the Harmattan season, so we don't have challenge with poor visibility weather. We should then get ready for the next challenge of poor visibility, which comes during the peak of the rainy season. As you may know, the rainfall, thunderstorms do reduce visibilities, and so in in heavy rainfall, we may need to be again cautious with air transportation.
And how are you working with federal government agencies and state governments to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated, where early warnings are not heeded and Nigeria is just ravaged by extreme weather conditions?
Well, we are government, and if we say government did not heed warnings, it's relative, because NIMET is a parastatal of the federal government of Nigeria. So NIMET had gone ahead to issue warnings, and our stakeholders in the dissemination of warnings, like the Federal Ministry of Information, for instance, we are working closely with them to ensure that each time that we have information for the public use, they assist us, because we have a limited reach. It's not a part of our mandate to go out there, and we can do the much we can, but we give them the rest to continue. It's their own mandate. We are working closely with them, and so what we do is get this critical information at this critical time made available to the people through the availability of the mass media like yours, and then we go beyond this by engaging our stakeholders. What we also hope is that a lot of people out there will listen to this advice, because if they do, in 2014, for instance, following what happened in 2012, we decided that every year, 2013, 2014, if we see any threat of, say floods ahead of, with a good lead time of at least 30 days or 60 days, we do inform the various places, the states. So in 2014, we again observed prospect of flood in about 5 states. We wrote to them, and I remember very well that at least one state took measures to clear up their drainages, and when the weather came, it didn't cause any much damage to them. So they are listening.
Thank you so much, Joseph Alozie, General Manager of Climate Services for NIMET. Thank you so much for coming on to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you.
Thank you for your mails as always. Keep them coming using the address and Twitter handle on your screen. You can also let us know anything happening within your area, especially if you're in the nation's capital. Don't forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. You can make your comments after viewing the videos, and always remember to include your name and where you're writing from. I'm Yemisi Ipaye. See you again.